we've been 2 years on design and engineering to get this to where we are today. Now it's paved. Finished it off a couple days ago. Now I get to get in this hot rod and go and try it out.
I'm hoping I don't forget how to drive. I haven't driven on a racetrack in 23 years, and so I look forward to getting out on the track and finding my limits again, and maybe pushing them a little further and making sure I can still do it right.
You know, I'm quite calm right now, but usually what happens is I'm calm right up until the green flag. It's kind of the same thing. I'm sure once I get out there and I realize, hey, I'm going down the front straightaway of our brand new racetrack, I'll get excited. Not because of nervousness, just because, wow, we actually built this place. I think we absolutely nailed it. Jacques' philosophy, I can't wait for him to drive it. I would be very amazed if he didn't get out and was grinning from ear to ear and said, you know, that's exactly how I envisioned this place.
I think his vision was exceeded, actually. That's really a testament to a lot of what Jacques had in his mind, but also what Trevor was able to do on the engineering side of it to take Jacques' thoughts and basically turn it into a reality and take maybe what could have been a two-dimensional idea and turn it into a three-dimensional concept.
You know, the track felt excellent. A brand new car, brand new racetrack. You know, I wasn't too worried about the car right now. I really wanted to go and see what the heck we built out there. I really wanted to see what turn 1 had to offer. A couple of other corners, turn 11, certainly turn 7. We got so much banking in that. Wow, what an exciting racetrack. I'm very proud of what we built.
Well, luckily I remembered how to drive today. I didn't have any moments. There's a couple little mistakes here and there, but after 3 or 4 laps, I started to get into the groove again. It really felt good to be back behind the wheel.
What surprised me a little bit was, you know, Jacques' idea was to have a bit of a breather between certain sections in the track. And we certainly have that, but those sections come at you pretty quick. You know, the track flows very, very nice, and you no sooner you get out of one section, you're into another one. It does give you that little bit of time in between, but that was a bit surprising how much it works you out.
Congratulations, Trev. Riley. I got in my old GM Motorsport car, I think it was around the third lap. It was just like someone stuck me in a time machine, and I was back on form, and it felt really good to be back in the old office and doing things I used to do, 23 years ago, like it was yesterday. After that, I had an opportunity to drive the 675 LT McLaren, and that was basically the most fun I've had in probably the last 20 years. It was an unbelievable experience.
So a couple surprises we had was turn 7. We thought was, I don't know really if we had expectations, but we had, I guess, something in our mind of what it was going to feel like. And when you get in the car, it actually is tighter feeling than you think, because you think it's bigger when you're building it, and then you get in the car and you get to speed, and it actually seems a bit smaller. It's still quite a bit of a wild ride, and it's going to be very fast and very on the edge. So a couple surprises there. It has proven now to be very, very, very technical.
Man, the whole track is so well designed. I love it. The car just sticks to the corners, and it's very fast and feels very secure. And I just love the track. It's one of the most amazing tracks I've been on to.
It's come a long way since the very first meeting that we had with Clarence Louis in my, down in my shop with all the cars and speaking with them to this point here, 4 years later where we're on it. I've done the track now, maybe the full track, not the half track, but the full track probably a dozen or more times, and it's an impressive track, and you really got to be focused when you're out there. It's quite something.
It's a long track. It's a long track to learn. A lot of technical points, a lot of different apexes. Some are really late, some are really early. So it's very different. You got a mix of everything. I guess Jacques and everybody who got involved, Bill and Trevor, and the design of the track, I think they did a pretty good job. I mean, I would drive this track all day long. It's fantastic.
Just the design of the track and the fantastic job that Jacques did in designing it and Trevor did building it, and Bill's dedication. I knew it was going to be great, but I didn't think it would be this great.
Just amazing, epic. I'm so happy to be here.
Just how fun this is. I mean, of course we knew it would be fun, but when you're out there, I'm literally like a kid in a Hot Wheels car.
It's fantastic. And, when Jacques said it's like a country road going somewhere, it is.
Yeah, the track is phenomenal. We've been waiting for it for 3 years, been a part of things, and it's amazing to see it come to fruition. It's a super challenging track, but lots of flow, very fun. This can take a long time to master. I don't think you can get bored going around here.
Oh, amazing track. It's just flows super nice and lots of challenges, but tons to learn. I don't think I'll be getting sick of this track for years and years.
Every time I get in the car, it's a great feeling. There's a smile on my face. I'm having fun. It doesn't seem to matter how many laps I do in a row. I just keep wanting to drive more and more laps, like there's no tomorrow. What's really surprised me is how when you get it right, when you do a corner just right, it feels so good. It has such a nice flow to it. It feels so natural. And it gives you this instant gratification. And you can tell there was a huge amount of thought and planning that went into every single corner, and every camber and spiral in and out of the corner, the radiuses. It just feels like no other track I've ever been on.
So out here, you're going to see a plethora of different styles of cars. You're going to see anywhere from passenger vehicles to which road cars. You're going to see race cars. You're going to see supercars.
The difference between a dedicated race car or car for the track versus an exotic car, usually the race car is lighter. Because it's lighter, it's going to be more agile. It's built for racing, so we don't have all the luxury in it. It's going to be noisy because everything has to be emptied. Because it's lighter, it's going to slow down better. Usually the race car has a huge brake for very, very little weight compared to the exotic car. the exotic cars are so sophisticated now. They are so fast. Most of these exotic cars are faster than most race cars that I've driven in my life. I've done Le Mans, and I've done Daytona, 24 hours, and some of these, expensive exotic cars are sometimes as quick, if not quicker, than race cars that I've raced.
For instance, a car like Trevor's, which is a decent-sized car with 475 horse, only weighs 2,400 pounds because it's not carrying all that extra equipment. Really, on a road circuit, lighter is always better because lighter translates into longer brake pad life, longer tire life.
What I've built, and I had my team build here, is a purpose-built track car. This is more like it basically is a through-and-through race car. You're going to have better handling, you're going to have better braking, you're going to have better downforce, you're going to have some of those things that you can build into the car that they build into a supercar, but they have to have a bit of a happy medium between driving on a racetrack and driving it to the racetrack. We don't ever have to worry about that. So what's going to be very interesting, though, is to see the kind of times and the speeds that we'll get around here in a supercar. A lot of those cars have 650, 700 horsepower. We don't typically put that kind of horsepower into a race car because they just simply go too fast. So the sanctioning bodies usually give us a lot less horsepower. We work around 450 to 500 horsepower. So a couple hundred horsepower for sure less than a supercar. And then we try and make it up with handling. I really think you're going to see lap times being very close together simply because you got handling on one side, you got horsepower on the other.
An exotic car from the street on the track might not be ideal because it's very, very costly to maintain. Because of the weight, you'll wear out your brakes quicker. The brakes on the exotic car, you'd be surprised to know how much these things cost out of carbon fiber. There's some good and some bad. Yes, you can drive it to the track, but in return, it might not be the perfect tool and the cheapest tool to use on the racetrack.
We're here at the beginning of the very first members driving school. We have several schools for the members. Half of our members haven't done an accredited driving school, so we want to get them in a proper school which gives them the fundamentals. Because if you have that solid foundation where you understand your braking and downshifting and the steps to the corner, the entry phase, exit phase, the braking phase, then you can progress on your own to the next level.
I'm the chief instructor for the school. I'm going to start the project. I'm going to form some instructors and then deliver the product to the members.
Everybody thinks when you build a racetrack, it's for race car drivers. And quite frankly, this track is probably as far from that as you could get. Is based around club membership and what that is for is performance driving, what we call performance driving. And performance driving often leads to becoming a race car driver. If you start with performance driving and you think you want to elevate yourself to the next level and maybe you want to do something competitive, then you would certainly get into the racing world. But for most of our members and for the people that are here today, they have really nice cars and they want to be able to take them out and see what the car can do.
You're basically going to learn the same foundation that every world champion, every IndyCar winner, every great road racer ever had to learn. To get that foundation makes you a much safer road driver because you're actually slowing things down in your head. You're anticipating things, you see them in advance. So it makes you a better, safer driver on the road, and you can have fun on the track where it belongs in a controlled environment.
Good. First exercise, we'll do braking down. Some of you, do you have a stick or this is a stick? Okay. So we have 3 stick and 3 semi-automatic or semi-stick or whatever it is, paddle shifters. So it's going to be a lot easier for you guys as we talked about yesterday. Speed in racing has a lot to do with speed as you see things approaching towards you. So if you see the cones coming towards you too fast, you're just not slowing down enough. Okay, things are going too quickly behind, in your head to do a good job. Slow yourself down, and if you see us going, whoa, slow down, because we feel and we can see that you're not slowing down enough to do a good job.
where the car is built 600 horsepower, it's got traction control, it's got paddle shifting, maybe it's a standard, all these different things that they've never really had an opportunity to experience on the street before. And we can show them how to take that, elevate their own skills, and really try to put the car through its paces and see what it can do. And these guys are having a ton of fun. They're all admitting they got a lot to learn, but hey, we all did. We all started somewhere.
I guess the thing that struck me was there's a lot to learn.
Yeah, I got to unlearn some of the habits that I've had. And I'll tell you, the heel-to-toe stuff in the braking zone is not as easy as you think.
Super exciting, daunting experience. Makes you realize how much you have to learn. It's super. This is so much fun.
It's massive to have a facility like this in our backyard. Western Canada has been pretty hurting for quality racetracks, and the Pacific Northwest in general. What we've got now is a world-class facility.
What a team, you know, what a team. You have a world champion that designed a track. You got Bill that maintained a contact, that lived in the Okanagan Valley all of his life. And you have Trevor that has one of the biggest excavation company in BC. So, wow, you know. So I said, yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting for me to finish my working era in the Okanagan Valley. And honestly, if this would take place anywhere else, I don't think I'd be there. Honestly, right now, Jacques is the best truck designer I've seen in my life. You know, there's a track in Japan where I went, it's surrounded by mountains like this, but they basically cleaned up the full valley, they leveled it, and they built a flat track on it. So you realize, you know, how well they use the land here very well.
So to be here now after, you know, working at this for whatever it's been, you know, we started in February, on the 2nd of February, and now it's, you know, September. It feels really good. You know, completion is near, and we got to run some laps, and it's, you know, quite the accomplishment. We did it in speedy fashion, just like any race car driver would like to happen. So, you know what, only up and out from here. You know, it's hard to be in business with family. You know, I've learned a lot of lessons there, as well as just management behind it. You know, you watch someone like Trevor work, where he's been doing it for as long as he has, and he tells you stuff, and sometimes you think to yourself, I don't know why he's telling me that, and then hours later you see, or days later you feel, that's why he told me that. So the amount of experience that cannot be replaced came into foresight for me and stuff like that. I think I'll take what I learned and hopefully apply it into the rest of my projects and then end up taking over the company here hopefully years down the road.
I've learned everything. I learned a lot about myself. Been around some great mentors and people that are part of our founding member team. Learned about process, learned about getting things done. I've always been someone that's never liked to take no for an answer, but always like to try and figure out a way around an obstacle. So if there's something in my way, I'll try. It's not necessarily you have to blow up the obstacle, but you got to look at the big picture and figure out a way around it or how to navigate. Getting from point A to point B, the journey is going to be full of little obstacles, and it's how you deal with each one that gets you from one point to the next point quicker than allowing one of those obstacles to stop you in your tracks or slow you down.
Going forward, we need, you know, administration buildings, we need washroom buildings, we need garages, we need clubhouses, we need a tower, all those great things that are yet to come. But, you know, if we have something great to build around, all that will come. It's just natural. And so we have that now. So I'm very happy to see how far we got and the support we've got from people buying membership, support we got from the 11 people that got together to make this happen.
Basically, well, this is like a yacht club or a golf club, so my role here will be track general manager and instructor. So basically like a head pro at a golf club, they do a bit of administrative stuff and then go out and give the odd lesson. So it's really a country club for car people. I guess the biggest thing that surprised me is when I started the project I was focused on creating a track, and I ended up creating 200 new friends. So that reward is actually beyond the track. So.